Let's talk about difficulties on the path of yoga and inner sadhana. We often encounter situations where the divine is nowhere to be found. Our faith begins to fluctuate and our inner aspirations grow dim. The difficulties can be subtle and complex depending on where we are on our path. In this world, where our regular programming is to seek comfort, where friends are just a message away, and spiritual shopping can be done on the internet to find new tools and techniques to get out of trouble, it's easy to become reactive and restless instead of allowing the birthing process, the churning process to take place. Mother speaks about how, in these times of depression, despondency, frustration, or restlessness, the best thing to do is to increase the intensity of our sadhana. Increasing the intensity of sadhana sometimes mean complete silence and non-action, allowing the higher consciousness to have its movement and provide us with new insights, discoveries, or wisdom. This movement of consciousness can be challenging, as in the start of the journey, some parts of the being turn towards the greater light, but others remain hiding and refuse to participate in the process of transformation. Many counter wills begin to pull the being in different directions. If the inner being establishes the connection directly with the higher being, then the awakened consciousness or the force of the mother takes on all difficulties for purification and transmutation. On deeper inquiry and reflection, we find that sometimes the consciousness itself pushes for a change, bringing something from the inconscient to the surface. At other times, something from the inconscient wishes to come into the light, or in other cases, because something positive has been received in the past, the body or different parts of the being are busy assimilating it. So, in these times, we may become more prone and susceptible to negativity and hostile forces. In all these cases, the best thing to do is to become silent. Mother speaks about what it means to become silent. She says, don't move an inch here or there. Allow the thing to pass through you. If we are aware in our bodies, we can actually feel this movement in different parts of our being and eventually leaving us with profound wisdom that can be further applied to our transformation. She also says, and I quote, shocks and trials always come as a divine grace to show us the points in our being where we fall short and the movements in which we turn our back on our soul by listening to the clamor of our mental being and vital being. On the path of integral yoga, it is highly important to synthesize the need to apply tools and the free flowing movement of the awakened consciousness. Outer practices can never replace the action of an awakened consciousness. When we speak about higher reality or higher consciousness, people often ask, all that is fine, but what are the tools and what can be done immediately? But you see, yoga is not about achieving something instantaneously or trying to grab something. It is about getting in touch with our true self and understanding the play, the revolution taking place in consciousness, removing the veil between the outer and the inner being. The limited mind cannot understand the direct workings of divine grace. True faith and surrender are in knowing that even in pain and difficulty, the masters have not left us. Sri Aurobindo speaks about causeless sorrow arising from the subconscient. He says, and I quote, the movements of the subconscient take place even without reason of themselves, owing to the inherent habit in nature. That is why the grief is without a discoverable cause. It is only because it is in the subconscient that you cannot locate it. When the grief comes, you must dissociate yourself from it and reject it, not taking it as your own until it ceases to come and call down the mother's peace and ananda in its place. When calmness is there, all sorts of things may rise to the surface. They do not have to be accepted, but simply looked at. In time, the calmness will be so developed as to quail the vital and outer mind. In that complete quietude, true perception will come. Wideness and calmness are the foundation of the yogic consciousness and the best condition for inner growth and experience. If a wide calm can be established in the physical consciousness, occupying and filling the very body and all its cells, that can become the basis for its transformation. In fact, without this wideness and calmness, transformation is hardly possible.